Places to go.
Welcome to Places to Go, the podcast from Plazy. The name says it all. In under 10 minutes each episode, we introduce you to places that we say are worth a visit and that we recommend. I'm Paul from the Plazy team, your platform for good travel tips in a nutshell. On plazy.travel, you can put together your own personal travel guide for selected destinations. And with Places to Go, Plazy is now also available as a podcast, this time about a place in the north of Germany, the Hamburg Museum of Arts and Crafts. Founded in 1874 as one of the very first museums of applied arts, the museum's collection includes around 500,000 objects, from antiquity to the present day. And in order not to lose the overview, we'll do as we always do in this podcast. We focus on a few specific highlights, on 3 rooms that you can always see here, alongside the many exciting special exhibitions. First of all, I would like to introduce you to a room that represents a centuries-old Japanese tradition, a real Japanese tea house with the beautiful name Pure Pine Hut. The Urasenki Foundation donated it to the museum on its 100th birthday, and it also organizes traditional Japanese tea ceremonies here several times a year, for which you can register. These are extremely popular and therefore, unfortunately, always booked out quickly, but we will provide you with the direct link to the museum's ticket store in our show notes. You can always take a look at the tea house itself, however, and it is a really beautiful example of traditional Japanese design. Only natural materials are used here. Cedar wood, and of course the eponymous red pine, plus bamboo, reeds, rice straw, and it's all very simple and clear. The next room is anything but plain and simple, but rather flashy and very extravagantly colorful. It's the former Spiegel canteen. The Danish designer Werner Panton designed it for the Spiegel Publishing Group in 1969, and Rudolf Augstein and many other great journalists ate and drank here for over 40 years. And when the publishing house moved to Hafen City in 2011, the canteen came here to the museum, a unique and very orange-colored room, which is now one of the so-called period rooms here in the museum. These are rooms that stand for certain stylistic eras, and in this case, the brightly colored 1960s. You don't even need to buy a museum ticket for this. You enter the third room I would like to introduce to you at the very beginning, the foyer. It was completely redone in 2023, and when it opened, the local newspaper wrote that this foyer had made the Museum of Arts and Crafts the most beautiful museum in Hamburg. The foyer was designed by the Bissau Marguerre Design Studio, which is run by the Hamburg-based designer duo Eva Marguerre and Marcel Bissau, who have already designed the furnishings for the Elbphilharmonie Concert Hall, for example. They didn't have such an easy time with the museum foyer here, as the building is already 150 years old, and the two say themselves, the foyer was quite uncomfortable, had more the charm of a train station concourse, and it wasn't easy to find your way around. Eva and Marcel spent a few days mingling with the people here, observing them and noticing what they saw. Many of them didn't even find the tills straight away, so they moved them further forward, towards the entrance, and they did something else. But I'll let Eva Marguerre tell you about it herself. Eva, what was your trick to make people feel more comfortable here and find their way around better?
Und wir haben ganz stark mit Farbe gearbeitet. Das heißt, wir haben die Farbe als Art Leitsystem, kann man so sagen, genutzt.
We worked very heavily with color. We used color as a kind of guidance system and painted the checkouts a bright, vibrant blue. Color works for everyone. People don't even consciously think about it, but the color attracts you. In other words, you walk in, and the color scheme of the vestibule is relatively neutral at first, and then you can't help but be drawn to this blue.
Und dann kannst du nicht anders als auf dieses Blau gezogen werden.
The colors in the new museum foyer are really strong. These bright blue columns and walls, in between golden yellow curtains, and then various terracotta nuances. And Eva, the colors are no coincidence, right? Tell us, what is it about these colors?
Wenn wir Interiorprojekte machen,
when we do interior projects, we always look at the architecture. We want to do something that suits the building and isn't artificial. You were lucky. 10 years ago, the entrance area, i.e. the space in front of the foyer, was historically reconstructed. And in the process, they came across these terracotta tones, the yellow and the blue.
Das finden wir alles in den historischen Deckenpaneelen.
We find all of this in the historical ceiling panels. No one will consciously see that there is a connection. But I think you can feel it. You walk into the building and it feels natural.
Man kommt ins Gebäude rein und es fühlt sich selbstverständlich an.
Thanks for the explanations, Eva. The Museum of Arts and Crafts now has a beautiful foyer, and it's also more comfortable. It no longer echoes, and there are nice seating areas. So it's just the right entrance for a building with such top-class design exhibitions. In addition to the rooms we have presented to you here, there are always exciting special exhibitions on designers such as Coco Chanel or Alexander McQueen, as well as on specific themes, comics, tattoos. Even Sesame Street has had its own exhibition here. And what also makes this museum special is that it launched the 11 to 0 initiative, in which 11 Hamburg museums have joined forces to make the operation of their buildings as environmentally friendly as possible. It is therefore a very sustainable museum in many respects, which is why it is also a tip that we are sharing with you on our travel portal Plazy. At plazy.travel, you can curate your own personal travel guide for selected destinations, and for Hamburg, we have only included sustainable tips. Depending on how you answer our questions, it may well be that this museum suits you and your wishes perfectly.